wanted to talk about something that's potentially very scary for me to talk about, but I have this sneaking suspicion that if I talk about it out loud in a forum like this, it'll stop like holding so much power over me, maybe. Thing is, I've dealt with anxiety most of my life, but I remember the first time really feeling like something was wrong when I was like 10 or 11. And I remember I was trying to explain it to my mom in like little kid terms of like something feels wrong. And my mom, who's very anxious, recognized it right away. I'm gonna conceal a little bit underneath foundation. Honestly, most days I just wear a little just concealer in these spots and blend it out with the Flawless filter. We're doing a full glam today. Also, letting your concealer sit for a little bit really helps with the application of it. There's nothing like forgetting to wet your fucking beauty blender. Long trek to the bathroom. And most of my anxiety is just like generalized anxiety of just, you know, not knowing how to cope with life all the time. Not even like the scary part, because like lots of people deal with anxiety, right? My type of anxiety is health anxiety. This is making me anxious talking about it. I am unfortunately never not anxious about dying. That feels so weird to say out loud, not to like just my best friends or my partner. I don't even think I've said that like exclusively to my mother. But I've been this way for as long as I can remember. I think since being anxious is probably like DNA coded into my blood. I've been so since birth. And when I was younger, I remember anytime I would see something tragic, I would commit it to memory. Like I remember going out into the kitchen to get a drink of water while sleeping over my neighbor's house. And they had the news on and they were doing a story about like how a little boy was like playing with his brother and he like slipped and fell and slammed his head into the wall and died. So as a little kid, I'm like, that can happen? Huh? That was probably the first time that I felt anxious about like head injuries and always worried about hitting my head. The real culprit here is my heart. Again, way too early in life, was reading probably a more adult magazine, and I remember reading a story about someone having a heart attack, and probably like it was like, I'm only 30 and I had a heart attack in like Cosmo or something. And again, my little kid brain doesn't understand that that was probably a freak occurrence and that I, as a child, am more than likely not going to have a heart attack. But that was just the beginning. That was just the catalyst. And it's just grown exponentially from there. I used to have panic attacks in high school. I learned how to cope with them. But since the pandemic, I'm being honest with you, you know, it's easy to blame everything on the pandemic, but truly since the pandemic, I have had a really hard time coping with my health anxiety and just anxiety in general. I had a really bad, probably the worst panic attack I've had in my life in fall of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for this foundation, shall we? Like, I know some people are saying that this foundation sucks and isn't worth it. It's obviously for certain skin types. I have combo to dry skin, so a luminous skin tinty type foundation is going to do well on me. If you have oily skin, might not be the foundation for you, but I am pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I was all alone. And for whatever reason, my body just had the craziest panic attack where I genuinely thought I was gonna have to call an ambulance. Like I have built up so many coping mechanisms throughout the years of like how to calm myself down, or like when I feel one coming on, like stopping it in its tracks, and like nothing was working. Nothing was working. I was literally like, I've never felt fear like that in my life. And my ex at the time, when I explained it to her, she was like, oh yeah, you just had, that was like it was just a panic attack. That was a really bad panic attack. And she was like, if you continue to get more of those, like in a short amount of time, you probably have like a actual anxiety disorder. Spoiler alert, I did. No one does it like Rare Beauty highlighters. Stunning. It's just like my health anxiety just gets worse the older I get, understandably, because the older you get, the more things are happening to you. And unfortunately pour moi, I had COVID in August of 2022, and it's all been downhill since there. I believe I have long COVID. I haven't felt truly healthy since I've had COVID. Like, we don't know the effects that COVID has on us. It seems to have like an effect on people's hearts and shit. Absolute worst thing that I could learn. That's kind of cute. Makes me look like an anime character. We're also gonna be doing like a snow princess look because I want to put together a snow princess outfit. Okay, we're gonna be working with these. Whoa, focus. Gorge. I feel like a real YouTuber. And this palette. I'm gonna start with this color Beluga all over. But yeah, I felt kind of compelled to talk about this because of that one TikToker, Anna Paul. She's actually been kind of talking about her own health anxieties more regularly on her vlogs. And the way that I felt so seen by her talking about the same things that I was scared of just made me feel so good, so seen. And even like people in the comments talking about like, oh my God, like what is happening outside? And even the people in the comments just kind of being like, oh my gosh, like this is so me. I'm also a hypochondriac, because at the end of the day, that's really what I am. I'm a hypochondriac, you know? I'm now using the color Electric from the, oh my God, look how beat up this is. What does this even say? Trendy in Tokyo by BH, just on the outer corner. I just figured that if I like found the confidence to talk about this, it might help other people the way that seeing her talk about it helped me. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this color. What the freak does it say? Moon Daisy. Oh. Just with my fingy, I'm gonna put it next to the dark blue, kind of like on the center of the lid. It's not coming up as blue as I would hope. And then on the inner corner, we're gonna do Ice Dream. Oh. But the thing is, my little chickies, I don't know about y'all if you're relating to this or not, but like, I'm so tired of living like this. Take it kind of like down a little bit, up a little bit, to create that like frosty look. I can't live like this. It definitely has an impact on my life. Like when I like feel a little twinge in my left arm, or you know, I am in the midst of like getting like my heart checked out, just because like it has been like acting up with like heart palpitations and pounding, beating kind of things going on. But like when I'm feeling like particularly anxious and like that happens, I'm just like, it ruins my whole day. Like I'll be out to eat with my boyfriend and that'll happen and I'll just instantly like shut down. Here's the thing. I have never been to therapy. I'm not against it. I am very, very pro therapy, but this is one of my New Year's resolutions, to get thee to a therapist. Juvia's Place has fantastic lashes. I'm gonna use these ones that are like really, let's see if it'll focus. Does that help? Look at me being a YouTuber. Okay, so there's the lashes. I want to look like a little sparkle princess. So I think I'm gonna do these like little sparkle stars. Look at this highlighter from Lottie London. Yeah, I saw a mutual of mine, Taj, do this, and I'm gonna try to replicate it, but she's far more talented than I am. That's a star. I'm gonna put, you know what I'm gonna do too? I'm gonna put a little dink. Perfect. But we are putting our mental health first in 2023, my babies. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some little rhinestones in the center. Look at that. Can you see? But yeah, if I'm being honest, this has made me feel a little bit better talking about it out loud, because I mean, if any of you have related with this, you can probably relate with the fact that in my mind, I was like, if I speak this out loud, then something bad's gonna happen, like it's gonna come true. I remember one time, a friend of mine told me on the school bus when I was a child, was like, you know, you can like make anything happen if you just like think about it enough. He's like, if you like think hard enough about like, I don't know, like making yourself throw up, like you'll get nauseous and then you'll throw up. And I mean, there is some truth to that, obviously, but you know what my anxious little brain told me? My anxious little like 12-year-old brain was like, well, I'm going to think about it. This is really telling of how mentally ill I am. If I think about having a heart attack too long, I'm gonna give myself a heart attack, you know? And even though as an adult, I know that that's like not how it works, that little kid is still inside me and afraid of that. This is cute. Should I use one of these gel sparklies in some manner? It's like, let's say. Like a little sparkly fairy princess. Look at that. How cute. I'm gonna go to my boyfriend's where he's just like making a frozen pizza for us to watch the OA, and he's gonna be like, what are you doing? A little on the inner corner. Yeah. One of the other things that I have a hard time with my health anxiety, sleep. I don't know if any of you can also relate to this. I have a hard time sleeping because my health anxiety tells me that I'm gonna die in my sleep. I've always kind of been like that in the sense that like anytime I've ever gotten surgery, when it's time to be put under anesthesia, I always cry. Like I remember the nurses, when I got my appendix out, I started to cry and they were like, this is a routine procedure. Don't worry, sweetheart, you're okay. We'll take good care of you. And I was like, I know that, but like, I also just, I hate, that's why I also don't like to do like drugs. You know, I don't like to do weed. I don't like to smoke weed. I don't like to do anything that makes me feel like out of my own control. And you know, going to sleep is like, you're just like, not being conscious means you're not in control of things. You know, I feel like in my mind, maybe it's like, if something were to be going wrong while I'm awake, I can do something about it, hopefully. But when you're asleep, you're asleep. And that is so frightening to me. And I just hate the way it messes with my health, with my sleep schedule. When I first told my boyfriend that, he was like, we gotta get you into therapy, sweetheart. Like, you're not wrong. I say all of this, I make this video to let you know that you're not alone if you feel the same way, and this comment section is a safe space for anyone that feels the same way, because it really did make me feel seen when that other girl was talking about it, her own issues. So I feel a little bit like lighter. Chewy.